where we believe there is a power for good in the universe. We can use it, we are using it, and we are, what? Here by divine appointment, that nothing happens by chance. So we acknowledge our viewing audience as well, that if you tuned in at this moment, there is a divine appointment. And as we come together, realizing that nothing happens by chance, that we're looking at the power of intention today, that our thought is our demonstration. The ancient ones in the Vedic literature, thousands of years ago, the ancient Vedics from the Upanishads, said that our deepest desire unfolds our intention. Our intention unfolds our will. Our will unfolds our deed. And our deed unfolds our destiny. So it begins with the desire. And I know that in some traditions, the desire is kind of given a bad rap. But we know that desire really comes from spirit, just as entheos, from God. And we're looking at it in the perspective of the energy of light, that our ground of being is spirit. So when we're looking at the power of intention, we're putting the works with the faith. We're putting action with intention. We're putting it out there. What is it? What is my highest dream, my highest desire? And I heard someone say recently, I am living my dream. And that was so refreshing to hear someone say, I am living my dream. I am living my heart's desire. For where my desire is, there is my intention. Where my intention is, there is my will. Will comes from the solar plexus. It's the warrior energy. It's the energy that gets us up in the morning and gets us out there. And we all must have a bit of warrior energy. We are the peaceful warriors of light, where the light penetrates the darkness comprehendeth it not, and shadows flee away forever. Because certainly the things that are going on the planet at this time, we can give our power away to. But the truth is, these things have been happening for thousands of millennia. And it's up to each and every one of us that hear the call, that answer that call, that acknowledge that there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. It's there. It's available. And what I love about the practical application of this way of life is that when we look at our daily life as our temple and our religion, that we look at our intentions and we look at things that are unfolding. If we do not relate to someone as something, or something is happening in our life, we can rearrange it. We can reposition ourselves. It's like, you have things on your coffee table. You change something. Now, the law of gravity doesn't care whether you change it or not. You've just repositioned it. And when we reposition ourselves and we look with a clearer perspective at our lives and what's unfolding in our lives, it is amazing what happens. Now, Kay Schreiber, who I consider one of our in-house mystics, she is a palm reader. And it's so interesting because she read my daughter's palm when she was 38 years old. And she goes, oh, I see a baby in your future. And she goes, oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah. And so she told her other things, and she sort of shined her on, and oh, right, Well, at 39 years old, she had my grandson. And she said, Kay predicted this. She goes, it was just so amazing, everything she said. And I said, well, some people have second sight. They can see into the energy field. And that's why we have our Wednesday night lives, we have our Mystic Arts Fair, is that we believe that all paths that lead to God are good. Whatever that path is. Reverend Jeffrey Jowett, one of our Innerfaith ministers, who has just published his book on I Am, will talk about the energy of the chakras and the energy that allows us to come forth into life in a greater way. And that is the solar plexus. And when we feel fear, we feel it right here. And we go, oh boy, I felt it in the pit of my stomach. That's called, this is the third chakra. This is the energy of the solar plexus. This is the energy of will. Where there is desire, there is intention. Where there is intention, there is will. Where there is will, there is deed, action with intention. Where there is deed, therein lies our destiny, our life, our daily life. And it is a series of unfoldments. So as we come together to acknowledge about the power of intention, that our intention is truly our demonstration. Jesus said, let they who are great among you serve you. In other words, find a need and fill it. Serve the greater need of the community. It's not about, someone said, well, that servant mentality, where you're self-abasing and you're not good enough. And I said, that's not what that means. To really serve, to be of service is one of the highest places that we can attain to, because it's about unconditional love. It's about recognizing that my brothers, my sisters are part of myself. It's also about acknowledging that there is a collective consciousness and that we gather together through this collective consciousness. And that we grow and we unfold. And when things come up that we don't like and that we're upset and we feel like it's all so unfair, those are the energies that have come up for us so that we can look at it and say, where do I need to grow? And there are also things that come up for us to look through, to see past, when we begin to give our power away and feel that fear in the pit of the stomach. And you have felt your strength in the pit of the stomach as well. But the security issues are right there in the solar plexus. And as we move up into the heart energy, the heart opens in amazing ways. It is done unto us as we believe in our heart. For where our treasure is, there our heart will be also. We make the longest journey every Wednesday night. We sound those beautiful crushed quartz crystal bowls, right? The crown chakra, the heart chakra. And we make the longest journey on the planet, the 18-inch journey from the head to the heart. Because if we can't feel it, we can't heal it. It's about opening the heart center. It's about loving what we do and doing what we love. And if we do that, we'll never work a day in our lives. And there are things in the administrative realm that I do that aren't my favorite things to do. But, I'm sort of whistling as I work, and I'm grateful that I have certain skills that I can do them. And as we begin to draw the larger circle and include the things we don't particularly care for, it lightens and it absorbs in the light of that loving what we do and doing what we love. And having that energy be part of everything we do and everyone we touch. When I was in Ireland, it was so great to get in touch with my roots. And the cab driver said, you just missed Obama. He was here to meet his Irish cousin. And his mother is Irish. So he was in Ireland to meet his Irish cousin. And I thought, isn't it amazing? Because the Irish have such a wonderful sense of humor. And I was sharing this book. It's called Keep Calm, Sure, It'll Be Grand. And it's about Irish blessings. And there's this one in particular. And as I was going through it, there's, Michael Caine and my great-grandmother who came over on the boat from Ireland. I thought, I'm probably related to Michael Caine and I should get in touch with him. We'll have him come and speak, okay? He says, be like a duck, calm on the surface, but always paddling like the Dickens underneath. Michael Caine. I just thought, that was just such a neat quote. Be like the duck. You're calm on the surface, but you've planted seeds, you're doing things, and you're going places, right? You're going places. Now, I have a kind of silly sense of humor, and I love this one, too. It's an Irish curse. Would you like to hear it? Or are we too evolved? Are we too evolved? Okay, now. May those who love us, and those who don't love us, may God turn their hearts. And if he doesn't turn their hearts, may he turn their ankles, and we shall know them by their limping. And I got a big kick out of that. I said, yeah, I've got a few limpers in my life yet, and I do know them. I do know them. So that's the first key for me, is to what? To send them love, right? If we shall know them by their limping, we're just going to send them love and send them wholeness. And that takes us out of the realm of being at the effect of it. If our intention is world peace, then we got to heal the issues that are within us. The issues that look out and say, isn't that unfair? The issues that say, oh God, after all I did for them, this was the thanks I got. How many of us have felt that way in our life, that martyr energy that comes up. And a friend of mine, a Jewish friend of mine, said, well, how many Jewish mothers does it take to change a light bulb? And I said, I don't know. How many? He says, none. I said, none. He goes, yes, I'll sit here in the dark already. I'll just sit here. Yeah, none. So martyrdom doesn't serve. If we want the light, we put the works with the faith, action with intention, because where that desire goes, there is the intention. Where the intention is, there is our will. Where our will is, there is our deed. Where our deed is, therein lies our destiny. It's about intention and opening to the demonstrations that show up in our life on a daily basis. And it is amazing when we open the space to allow God to do what God does best. Deepak Chopra said that in the gap, and he calls the energy between two notes of music, between two thoughts, the gap. That's where God lives. It's when we're not thinking our thoughts and we're not hearing the monkey mind and all the chatter. It's where we're in that place of peace. Therein lies the miracles that arise in our life, that we can go out into the world and make a difference. And I go, as you know, all over the world. And my affirmation is, the mystical, the magical, and the miraculous go before me and prepare the way with ease and grace. And when it doesn't seem so graceful, guess what? You open the space. You open that space to allow the energies to come in, because we're part of the human condition. You know, it's just not going to be all fairies and butterflies and pixie dust. It's going to be some real interesting realities that show up in our life that we get to deal with. But I know that the one great reality, and that's reality with the lowercase r, the one great reality, as Ernest Holmes said, is spirit. That all these things out here, those are facts, not spiritual realities. These are the daily round, the things we deal with on a daily basis. But there is a very fine line between samsara, as the ancient Sanskrit says, which is the daily round, and nirvana, which is the highest state of heaven that we can attain to here on earth. That we've had those moments of oneness. We've had those moments where the energy has just moved out and we have felt that amazing energy. And all the great mystics who felt that energy. Think of St. Francis of Assisi when he was throwing the fabric out of his merchant father's window saying, oh, we're all one, and he's throwing out all the things, and we're together and we're one and there's only God. And he did not get the best reception from not only the town, but his father, who disowned him. So we all have those crazy moments of oneness. We act on them because we're in the world, and when you're in the world, you act appropriately most of the time. But we're not of it. We're of a higher spiritual reality. This is the impetus of my life. This is why I love this way of life. And also to create space for the zany, the spiritual zany, the outrageousness of life, the little moments that come in, you go, I couldn't make this stuff up. I mean, I literally could not make this stuff up. Those amazing moments that come in that are just outrageous. They do come in. And when they come in, to have that willingness to see the whole picture and to recognize the humor in everything. When we recognize the humor in it, we can lighten up. Why does a bird soar? It takes himself lightly. So when we take ourselves lightly and we live in that gap between, that's that wonderful moment of the pause between two notes of music. Isn't that beautiful? That's where God lives. Robert Roy plays the bagpipes, Amazing Grace. And we had an ordination of Reverend McKaylee and Reverend Michael. And then that's when we installed Reverend Jeffrey. And we went, I think about us going through the whole spa lobby with Robert Roy in full Scottish regalia, playing the bagpipes through the spa hotel as we're marching into the Tockwitz room to do an ordination and installation. And I thought, our energy is there. I don't care if they're tearing buildings down or whatever they're doing. Our energy is on that sacred ground. We went out with such an absolute bang, right? And energy. And when we get it about everything is energy, we're not going to take things personally. And it's so interesting, our last Wednesday night speaker talked about addictions. And he said, I was, a gay boy, and I didn't feel good about myself. And he said, first of all, it was, I discovered, some mind-altering grass, and then alcohol, and it graduated to other things, until one day I had a spiritual experience and realized that I was none of that I was absolutely perfect just the way I was in presence. And he talked about presence. So today when we look at putting action with intention, it's the presence within us that moves through the appearances, that moves through the upsets, that moves through all of these security issues we have of what's going on. And, we hear about it all the time, about the economy and what's going on, and it's an uncertain future. We cannot buy into this. We are creating our own reality. We are creating our own gifts and opportunities that arise. I accept my good and my unexpected good. And as Kay Schreiber, as I was sharing with you about Kay, she said 4 years ago, remember I stood up here 4 years ago, and I said, in 4 years I will be 70. So I decided that I would move on from the ministry, and I would do my global work, and I would do my writing. And then I had a whole group of you come to me and say, we don't want you to move on. I mean, you can still do that and be with us. And I said, well, I am the founder. So my energy and my love and my heart is here. And so I listened to that. And Kay said, 4 years ago, you made the declaration that you were going to do your global work. You've been in more countries this year than any person I know. And you're doing your global work, and you're writing, and you're doing your things, and you still have this amazing ministry. So no matter what it looks like and how intimate we are today, that this energy moves out throughout the world. And when we come together and we set the tone on Sunday morning, I see every seat filled. I see every heart moved. I see every energy opened. And I see every person uplifted. So today, let's put our action with intention. Let's acknowledge that where our desire is, that our highest vision, our deepest desire, our most sacred goal is an already accomplished fact in mind and experience. And that what shows up and looks like a problem is just an opportunity for us to move to the other side of it, to grow and unfold, and to embrace the energy of who and what we are in a greater way. So I love you. It's an honor and a privilege to serve you. And I feel that I always get more out of it than you do. And I am so grateful to be with you here this morning. And where are we going? Where? Higher yet. We are going higher yet. Yes, we are. Higher yet. And so it is. God bless you.